Hi everybody, and welcome to another edition of Charger 360, telling the stories of the University of New Haven. J.W. Stewart, once again joined by Bruce Barber. Bruce, how you doing?
Loving season 3, J-Dub, loving season 3.
Season 3, the best one so far.
Exactly.
We've got the best guests, and that continues today. Our guest today on Charger 360 is Dr. Betsy Francis-Connolly. Betsy is the Dean of the UNH's School of Health Sciences. Betsy, it's great to meet you. Thanks for joining us here on Charger 360.
Thanks for inviting me. What a pleasure.
And please share with us your path to the University of New Haven.
All right. Well, this is my third year here. It's really fun to be here because it's a new School of Health Sciences. Prior to arriving here in West Haven, I was the Dean at the University of St. Joseph, also of Health Sciences, and then before that of Westbrook College of Health Professions at the University of New England. So this is my third deanship. I clearly must like this role. And prior to that, I was at Eastern Michigan University for 23 years as a faculty member and director of a School of Health Sciences there. So been in higher ed for quite a while.
So health sciences, broad field and an important field certainly. What are some of the educational programs that are housed within UNH's School of Health Sciences?
We started in 2018 with 4 programs: dental hygiene, health administration, paramedicine, and nutrition. And now, 6 years later, we are at 14 different programs.
Wow.
So we have an undergraduate program in public health and health science, one of our largest programs. We have dental hygiene, which has been around for a very long time here at the university, as one of our hallmark programs. Paramedicine and exercise science are all of our undergraduate programs. In our graduate programs, we have a master's in public health, med lab sciences, health administration, what am I forgetting, nutrition, OT, speech language pathology. We launched physician associates program in 2025 fall. And we have a Doctor of Health Science. So we've really blossomed. There's such a demand for the health professions. So it's been a really fun road to develop all these new programs.
Yeah,
with
and
our
as
team.
you designed it, we do try to be, what we call market responsive, right?
Right.
So were you looking at, hey, what is the landscape and what are employers looking for?
Absolutely. I am lucky enough to have this wonderful advisory board of CEOs, chief medical officers, nonprofits in the greater Connecticut area. And we talk with them a lot about, so what are the needs? What do you need? PA was a no-brainer, huge demand for PAs. We've thought about respiratory therapy. We're thinking about health analytics in launching that hopefully in the fall, and clinical research administration. So we are totally market-driven of what are the programs out there, what are the needs in the community.
In the time that you've been here, Betsy, have things grown faster than you thought in our School of Health Sciences, or about kind of what you expected?
This is a really fast growth for any college or of allied health or health sciences. And I think that's why I was recruited to come here. I like to grow new programs, and get really wonderful faculty and program directors to launch these programs. So it's been fun for me.
And what are some of the projects, some of the research that the School of Health Sciences is working on? That's got to be exciting for you when you get those going.
Yes, exactly. Well, I have a faculty member that has worked with a group of graduate students looking at what are the health barriers for our international students. So they used a photo voice project, which means, a photo paints 1,000 words. So they asked some of our international students to take pictures of the barriers to healthcare for them. And that was a really powerful project. That was Dr. Fernandez that did that project with a group of graduate students. And Dr. Carl Mingus is working on a large $1 million grant with our colleagues in public health about ways to prevent gun violence. So a public health approach to gun violence. So those are just a sort of a smattering of the kinds of breadth of projects that people are working on.
And how about our students who come here, when they leave, become alums, where are they working? I mean, it's, again, such a broad umbrella, broad spectrum, but if you had to name a couple of places, maybe some industry partners we have a good relationship with, where some of our alums, where do they matriculate to?
all of the major healthcare facilities here. I mean, Yale New Haven, Hartford Healthcare, Trinity, the VA. We have, not only in Connecticut, but MGH, all the major places around, Jackson Labs, Griffin Hospital. So we have, I think, in this short time, have really established a good reputation for the kinds of students that we have.
Now, so being a dean,
Yeah.
I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
If I have like 1 or 2 meetings during the day, I'm like super stressed.
If I only have 1 or 2, I don't know what to do with myself.
Oh, I just, I like it simple. But so how much downtime do you have, and what do you like to do with your downtime? I think people want to know, what do the deans do when they're not deaning?
When they're not dealing.
Yeah.
Well, I really believe in a balance of occupations. I'm an occupational therapist by training, and I think it's really critical to have some kind of a balance in a downtime. So things that I like to do are gardening. Here I am.
Nice. Beautiful.
Thank you. I think if I wasn't a dean, I would like to be a flower grower and sell flowers at farmers markets. So this was getting ready for a party. Here's my grandchildren, Harper and Lola, and we are preparing the garden beds last spring. We just planted, I think, some peas and other things.
Let me compliment you on your raised beds.
Oh,
Those were very artistic.
yeah.
Ours are just very, grid-like. That formed a whole thing.
Yeah, so gardening is really dear to my heart. I grew up gardening with my father.
And that's out west?
This is out west. So a year ago, my husband is quite the venturesome, and he wanted to go on a rafting trip down the Colorado River.
And fun fact, he's a blacksmith?
Yeah, so my husband is a blacksmith. Here we are hiking the Highlands this past July in Scotland.
You got a Scottish blacksmith, a Scotland-loving blacksmith. Wow. You hit the jackpot.
Yeah, so he creates ornamental railings, pot racks, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So for beautiful, beautiful work. It's amazing to see what you can do with metal. So those are the kinds of things that I like to do in my free
So
time.
you enjoyed the traveling and some of the favorite trips you've taken? Scotland, obviously.
Scotland was magical. The Highlands are just beautiful. We hiked, we went on, it was a trip with a guide and a small group of 8 people, my husband and myself and a couple of other really close
Wow.
friends. So it was a really wonderful trip, and they are beautiful. I mean, they're just so gorgeous. We hiked, between 8 and 12 miles a day, so we had done some training to be able to do that.
Got their steps in.
No doubt, absolutely.
I got my steps in, that's
Probably
right.
broke, right?
That's right.
You have
that's right.
broken the health app.
Yeah.
Blacksmith, that is an occupation you just do not see anymore.
Yeah.
It's got to be pretty loud, right? Is he banging on the metal at the house when you're trying to work or garden?
It's a separate shop
Okay.
from our house. It is located at our house, but it's separate for fire regulations.
Okay.
Our insurers,
Okay, that's, wow.
our
yeah.
insurance has said,
Oh,
if this is connected,
Insurance company. Blacksmith?
That's right. That's right. And it is loud. He wears earplugs, but it's interesting. There's a rhythm to it, and I can tell when he's in the shop smithing and when another blacksmith is there, because there's just a rhythm to the way people, hammer. Yeah.
Now, so you also tell us that, one of your areas of expertise is mothering. So what advice do you have for the moms that are potentially wisely tuning in to Charger 360 to find out a little bit about the University of New Haven? What advice do you have for those moms that are sending their
Children
little
here?
babies to college?
Yeah. Well, I do. My research is in the area of mothering across the life course, and I'm going to answer your question, but I'm going to sort of do it circuitously. So I looked at mothers of young children, preschool-age children, and I've looked at mothers of young adult children. So those mothers of young adult children talk about how they never stop mothering and parenting and worrying about their children. So I guess my advice would be is to allow your young adult child to make some mistakes, because I think we all learn from our mistakes. And you can't always just rush in and save them. And so I guess the sort of letting go a little bit would be my advice to them. Not that you're going to stop worrying about them, but to let them sort of problem solve a little bit.
Yeah, I just had a thing at the radio station today. There were 2 students in the main studio. They were setting up for their show, and they were trying to figure out where the mic's labeled properly. And it was funny, even, and as a parent also, my first instinct was to go in and fix it for them. But then I was like, my office looks across through, through some glass, and I was like, I'm just going to let them figure it out. And they figured it out,
Right.
And that's a joy to watch, and I think as a parent and then also as an educator, it's always that balance of, this is the time in their lives where they really kind of take the reins, right, and do their thing.
Absolutely. How do you develop critical thinking if you don't have to walk through those steps, right? And we pride ourselves here at the university of developing future leaders and critical thinkers. Yeah, exactly.
You have a daughter, is that right?
I do.
And the 2 grandkids?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So did you follow your own advice with regard to mothering when she was a young adult and having kids on her own? And
Yeah, probably not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good, gotcha.
Yeah. Sometimes she will say to me, take your dean hat off and just listen. I just need to vent, because of course I want to problem solve. She's bringing a problem to me. I want to be there to problem solve. So I have to remember to sort of just keep my mouth closed sometimes, and it's not easy to do.
And this is such an amazing time in these young adults' lives, right?
Yeah.
And, we all take that responsibility very seriously, the saying, en loco parentis, and
Yes.
we're here in that role. And it's wonderful to see when you do really start giving students the opportunity to learn on their own. They do not disappoint.
Exactly, and probably come up with something more creative than we would have. I think as a grandparent, one of the great joys is to watch your child parent and see the way that they do that and just take great pride in that. Yeah.
is it similar or different when you look at the students we have here? Are you in that motherly or grandmotherly role here for the students here?
They probably look at me and think that of me as their grandmother. I think that our students are so thoughtful and respectful. I'm always amazed at walking across campus and they'll hold the door open for you, and I'm just really impressed with our students here. So they probably do that because they think I'm a grandmother and need to be, the door needs to be held.
I have noticed the exact same thing. And look, of course, it's a cliche. You say, oh, our students are so nice.
Yeah.
They are. They're
Yeah.
really nice people.
I
And
agree.
it's such a joy to watch the way, I see the way they treat each other.
Yeah,
I think it's very special.
I agree.
So Betsy, we always ask our guests, last question here is for you to kind of give your elevator pitch about why students should attend the University of New Haven. There's a lot of directions you can go. We'll let you pick which direction, but why should students and their families choose the University of New Haven?
Yeah, well, I would tell you we have this wonderful facility for our clinical programs over at One Care Lane with state-of-the-art labs, and facilities over there. It's really impressive. I hope you both have come over. If not, I'd love to give you a tour of the facility. It's just amazing. And one of the things we do differently here, I could say our faculty are amazing, and they are, but I think any dean would say, at any university would say their faculty are amazing. And really dedicated to the students. But I think it's the way that we educate our students to be working together in a team, because we know that there's better healthcare outcomes when a whole medical team is working together. It's not just all siloed where the doctor's over here and the OT's over here and the speech language pathologist is here. So we really educate our students to know and learn from within about the other healthcare professions. And I think that is our edge here, as well as our beautiful facilities and our amazing faculty.
And that team building, that is the antidote to AI, right?
Right.
That's something that the AI cannot do, hopefully will not be able to do.
Absolutely, absolutely. We can embrace AI in the ways that that it's helpful, but it doesn't replace a person in all of that.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Dr. Betsy Francis-Connolly, the Dean of the UNH School of Health Sciences. Betsy, thanks for being here. Bruce, I want to thank you for volunteering to kind of help the dental hygiene students out and being there in the dentist chair for them. That's really nice of you.
I did
As
not
they
make
learn
that
how to
commitment.
drill and-
Actually, let me tell you something. True story.
Yeah.
I go to Dr. Gary Pearl in Hamden, Connecticut. I think almost every one of the dental hygienists that has given me phenomenal care has been a University of New Haven graduate. So,
Yes, yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
My last two, I live an hour away. I live in Burlington. My last two dental hygienists, graduates of our dental hygiene program here at the University of New Haven.
That's
They
great.
do phenomenal work.
That's great. Thanks for that plug.
Absolutely.
yes, look at these smiles.
Yeah, see, right? Thanks, UNH.
Thank you, UNH. Power on.
That's right. Betsy, thanks for being here. We appreciate it. It's
Thank
great
you.
to meet you.
Thank you so much. It's great to be here.
And that'll wrap up another episode of Charger 360, telling the stories of the University of New Haven. For Betsy and for Bruce, I'm J-Dub. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.